Walking Dead fans, we are back for season 10, episode 1. We are very excited to be back. A crashing satellite. Our group is staying prepared after their last encounter with the Whisperers. We've got two groups, one at Oceanside, one at Alexandria. A forest fire forces our team to cross border lines. We've got our special segments. We've got our favorite kill segment, our MVP of the episode. We've got our top 3. We've got a lot to talk about. Don't move a muscle.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, Walking Dead fans? Welcome back to our show, The Walking Dead After Show. We are calling us The Honest Talking Dead. That is what we are doing this season. Season 10, episode 1, you guys. I'm very excited to be back with you all.
So excited.
Same.
Such a good episode. Everything all good.
Well, before we get into the episode, I'm joined by a beautiful panel. I've got Krista Flengy with me.
Hey, guys.
I've got April Wissenhant over there.
Hey, everybody.
And Sir Benny Adams.
What's up, guys?
Guys, we are very, very excited to be back. We are very excited for everybody in the chat. April is in the chat right now. We're going to be giving some shout outs. We've got a lot to talk about, you guys. First off, like I said, we are very, very excited to be back. Yeah. We just left Fear the Walking Dead. Those of you who don't watch it, check it out. But here we are talking The Walking Dead. I hope you all saw our preview episode, our pre-episode for this episode, where we talked about pretty much everything that we look forward to, what is going to happen on this episode, or for this season, rather. Yep. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right into it. I want to hear your overall thoughts of the episode.
So good. I truly, I was like, this is one of the best premiere episodes in a long, long time. The story was told in a way so different from, I think, any of the rest of The Walking Dead. And I loved it, and I thought it was so well done.
Yeah, I had high hopes for this premiere, and I was not disappointed whatsoever. Just literally everything the show offered was amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree. I loved it, and now I'm super excited for the rest of the season.
I agree. Angela Kang, the showrunner, definitely pulled out all the stops for this premiere episode. I mean, it almost felt like a movie. Was I the only one? Especially with that opening shot of the satellite.
The opening scene was great.
I mean, there was so many things that we could just pinpoint, but it really felt like a movie. I mean, the acting was on point. The writing was on point. I mean, they can only go down from here, and I don't think they will, because after we heard of how the showrunners and the writers have treated this season so carefully, I don't think that they're going to be slowing down anytime soon. So let's dive into it. Guys, don't forget, we also have our MVP of the episode. It's our special segment that we're doing at the end of the episode. We're going to pick our favorite character or who we thought deserves MVP of the episode. We've also got our favorite kill. We're keeping that from Fear the Walking Dead. Plus, we've got some news and gossip from Benny Adams over there. And we've got our predictions at the end of the episode, guys. We want to hear everything that you have to say, so stay tuned for all of that. So, who would have thought a crashing satellite would have caused so much commotion?
I mean, I would.
Yeah, but I mean, I just thought that because it's the end of the world, who cares?
I guess you forget that there's still stuff going on up there, you know, and then something like that falls out of the sky, and you're like, oh yeah, that was a thing prior to now. No one's around to warn us or watch out for that.
Yeah. And when have you thought about space?
Exactly.
They haven't thought about space probably since we were at the CDC or whatever way back in Atlanta. It was just, I think maybe that's why I liked it so much, because it was so out of nowhere. Even when they were showing, I'm going to, call myself a full idiot here. When they were showing the satellite at the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh, is this something that they're trying to tell us in this group? Are they even bigger than we think they are?
They're in
space? Not them, but I was like, maybe something with Rick's group. Didn't put two and two together. Oh wait, that looks pretty old. It's probably about to crash. I was shocked to say the least. But I mean, all the damage that it's doing makes me wonder what's going to happen to Oceanside and that whole entire area.
Never in a million years I think they would go that route, and the way they tackled it was just very well written, because you've seen shows before where they've tried to incorporate space into the show and it doesn't really work out that well. They did it perfectly.
The way that they used this satellite to kind of tie in all of the storylines throughout the episode, I thought was brilliant, and we're going to go through them one by one. Cool. Starting with this opening scene on the beach called Training Day. You guys, I've never been so turned on in my entire life.
I loved that scene.
Right?
Yeah.
I got chills.
Right?
Yeah.
Literal chills.
I was sitting on my couch watching, and I was like, I said out loud by myself, I was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
Something about it, I don't know what it was, like seeing Judith sliced, like just everybody, everything about it. And I was like, are they preparing for war against walkers or are they preparing for war against Alpha? Seems like a little of both.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it is a little bit of both. I don't think that after what happened last time, they could totally forget about that. And I think it's good that they're preparing for anything, walkers or other groups. Now, April, we had said in our pre-episode that we were looking forward to having it come right after what happened, after we seen our friends beheaded, after what Alpha's group did to our group. And that's not the route that they took. They kind of did another time jump. I think it's like 2 years because RJ is all grown up.
It's got to be only like a year-ish because of Rosita's baby. That's a pretty
So,
new
it's probably
Makes
like
sense.
a year, I'd say.
year and a half max.
Because how pregnant was she when we left her?
Well,
She wasn't even
not
showing, I
very.
don't think.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like 9 months, maybe like a year and a half.
We'll give
Probably.
it that.
Because her
Yeah.
baby's, let's say, like 6 months.
Because this is the thing that we struggle with all the time, you guys. We never know how much time has passed. How old does RJ look?
He does look like he went through quite the growth
That's why I'm
spurts.
confused.
He can talk, so I'm like 5 probably.
Yeah. He can barely talk, though. How old was he before? I guess maybe let's say he's
That's
4
true.
when he can barely talk.
Yeah.
But he is. I mean, he's like almost as tall as Judith. But,
Yeah.
you know, like he had a growth spurt, whatever. But we have to base it, and I only know this because of what Angela King said, off of Rosita's baby. And that baby is looks to be about 6
Still a
months
baby.
old.
Yeah.
So let's say a year and a half-ish
Okay.
max,
That's
probably.
fair. That's
That does
fair.
seem fair.
Now, what I was surprised about was this mask that they find on the beach. Because I didn't realize that because we did time jump a year and a half, that Alpha's group would even still be around in their vicinity. I thought before I knew that they were still at Oceanside that they had left, that they left everything, because when we last saw them, like I said, they were like traveling through forests and it was snowing, and I thought that they went far away.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of what the group thought also, which is why some of them wanted to be able to go past those marks that Alpha said you couldn't pass. And so I think some people thought, well, they're not around anymore, but some people wanted to be on the safe side and be like, you know what, you never know, they still might be around.
Yeah.
It's an interesting aspect of this group, especially looking at, we see multiple people struggling with it throughout the night, but it's a different aspect. And I think it's something that they're going to touch on a lot throughout the season is them almost being scared.
Yeah.
Not that they are, not almost, they are scared. Not that they weren't scared of Negan, but that was a more direct threat. They knew what was
You
happening.
could see him.
Right.
Yeah.
They knew, okay, he's coming after us. If we don't get these supplies to him, whatever. They don't know what Alpha's doing because technically she wanted Lydia and then she was like, okay, never mind. Just don't come on my turf. But
Yeah.
like, are they still there? So they live every single moment being
Yeah.
like, what could happen?
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
you can definitely tell when they encounter groups of walkers, and they did it several times throughout the episode. They keep saying, watch their hands, which I think is a brilliant way to kind of differentiate regular walkers from the Whisper group.
That's terrifying, though.
But
yeah.
I know, I agree. They're like walking on pins and needles every time they encounter a Walking Dead or
Yeah.
a herd, and I think it's brilliant.
It
I
is.
mean,
It's so good. It's like a whole new fear factor because, yeah, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You got to kill the walkers, but they could also be Alpha's group. So.
Yeah. So because they find this mask, we obviously realize that the threat of the Whisper group is back, and we already see that there's two groups. We see that there's a group at Oceanside and then there's a group at Alexandria. Because Aaron walkies or radios over to Alexandria saying that they should lock it down, and Michonne thinks that, they should just keep an eye out and not lead everybody to panic. What were your thoughts on that? Do you guys agree with Aaron, or did you guys agree with Michonne in this point?
I think there's a happy medium there. I think everyone should be vigilant, but I don't think there is enough fear or like enough warning to be like widespread panic.
Right.
So, and it's also like you don't want to tell like the children because they don't, I don't know. I feel like there was people that needed to know and everyone needed to be vigilant, but not like panicking.
Right. It seems like you can't just not say something because then, but then again, I don't know, because aren't they always kind of on high alert? Maybe they've relaxed a little bit at this point, and when they relax is when things go bad, obviously. But then I'm like, what if it's just, we know it's not, but what if it was just a random mask that washed up from forever ago, and now you've caused widespread pandemonium.
Yeah.
So you're exactly right. There has to be some sort of in between of notifying people without causing major alarm. But then there's always the question of what happens, like, why are we doing this? Why are we even a little amped up? So I don't really know.
I agree with Michonne 100%. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Like they've been safe for all these years since the last season. You know, why go into the unknown and possibly get into that danger again? You know.
Yeah. I think what the show did a good job of doing was that they kept this threat alive for us, the viewers, because we could have easily forgotten, and especially with the time jump being a year and a half, or so we think, we could have easily been like, oh, the Whispers really aren't that scary anymore. Like, it's time has passed. They haven't really done anything to our group. Yeah, but they are keeping it alive, and they are keeping this, I don't want to say level of paranoia, but this level of caution toward this Whisper group, which just puts more fear out there for me.
Yeah.
Now, we have our group, they want to go and find the Whispers to see if they're even around or if it is just a mask that has washed up. And they come across the bridge. Aaron and Michonne have gotten really close, apparently, which I really enjoyed. I like that he's her right hand.
Same.
That's what it seemed like, yeah.
Yeah. And they have several conversations. One after this bridge scene. And the only reason I bring this up is because it had a really, really prevalent theme of Rick, obviously. And Michonne is quick to mention that. And I kind of felt for her. And that's another thing they're keeping alive in this show is not just the threat of, you know, the Whisper group, but also Rick's memory and how hard his loss is on Michonne.
We would be, you know, probably up in arms if there were episodes where Rick wasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
And especially the two of them standing there on a bridge and doing all of this stuff. But I loved that moment between them because, you have to, you know, like Aaron says, he's tired of being the nice guy. You know, he wants to do this. But Michonne's like, but for what?
Yeah.
All of these people died, and you're over here. Like, if he hadn't have gotten his arm chopped off last season, he would have been bitten multiple times at this point. I think that's the second or third time at least that I've seen him get bit in that arm. And obviously he uses it as a defense, but
which is a good idea.
Yeah, it is. But I like this side that I'm seeing of him. I like a slightly more aggressive Aaron, and almost like we need somebody at this point who wants revenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, we're missing that from our people. They're all just like, okay, let's just live. Let's stay safe, because that's what they've been fighting for so long. But he's like, I'm tired of doing this. Let's see what's going to happen.
Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about next with Aaron is that, you know, we see from the get-go that he is battling between what they're doing and what they stand for. And, you know, it's just this inner battle with Aaron, and which is why he asked Michonne, you know, are we the good guys? Because, you know, they go out and they essentially do kill people, but it's people who are a threat to them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that Aaron is on the right track with his aggression because, I mean, he sits there and says, you know, Eric is dead, Jesus is dead. Like, we've lost all of these people, and I'm fed up with being the nice guy. And I completely agree with him. I think that he's right. I think that now with this threat of the Whispers, there is no room for being nice.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the Whisperers.
Right.
So it makes complete sense.
He just needs to be smart about it, though.
Yes.
Like, I agree with what he wants to do, but he needs to thoroughly seek out a plan so he won't get himself killed.
He was acting very emotionally tonight, and
Yes.
it's like that could get you in trouble too.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see Michonne there too, and they kind of challenge each other.
Yeah, he
in
was
that
definitely
aspect.
acting on impulse. I mean, like April said, he almost got bit on the bridge.
He was not
on his leg
caring.
and on his arm. Like, it was.
I thought he was done for, actually. During his leg, I was like clenching. I'm like, oh, here we go.
This is it.
He's gone.
That was really close. So after they find confirmation, you know, Magna, Yumiko, Alden, Luke, they all find, you know, that there are Whisperers around. They go back to Oceanside, and this is when we see Judith and RJ together. And this was a really endearing moment because we obviously love Judith. Yeah. We haven't really got to know RJ because he was just like a child when we last saw him. He still is. And he talks now. And she's pretty much telling him, and this is once again this theme of, you know, keeping Rick's memory alive. And she's telling him, this story about their dad and how, you know, he's the brave man. And, you know, Michonne comes over and he asks her, why did the brave man die? And she has this amazing answer. She's like, there's some people that you love so much that you would do anything for. Am I the only one who thought that was foreshadowing?
It 100% is.
Right?
Yeah.
That she's going to have to sacrifice herself for her children?
Something's, yeah, because we know we don't have her. Yeah.
Oh, that would make me so sad.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, okay.
Because she was like, I'll do it for you, and I do it for Judith. And I was like, there it is.
She's
saying I'm gonna do it. This is the thing about this scene. I think if there was a single person not absolutely touched by this, then my heart needs to be melted. But I think that they are giving us more RJ for a reason. Like y'all said, we didn't really get to know him last season, but now it's like, okay, if we see, you know, we know Judith, but we also know Judith as a very strong person who also very much so relies on other people like Negan. Would Judith really be, obviously Michonne's her mom and she would be devastated, but like she might be okay.
Yeah.
But showing us RJ, giving us more of him, and he's a direct connection between Rick and Michonne, obviously. It's just a way for them to be like, oh, guess what? We're taking the mother from this kid too.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I just love how we're seeing both Judith and RJ talk about Rick, because Judith was a toddler when Rick died. RJ wasn't even born yet. So it's cool that even though they don't really remember him, they still have memories of him, if that makes sense. So I think that's really cool that they do that.
Yeah, and April, I definitely think you're onto something here. I mean, we've seen Carol lose 2 children now. And, you know, Michonne's already lost 1. Don't forget, we have seen her lose a child from before the apocalypse started, or after it started. And now she has 2, 1 not biological, but we're not counting that because it's essentially her mother. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past the showrunners or the writers to be like, nope, snatching another one away, because they did it to Carol. So I would not be surprised. Before we get into what's going on over at Alexandria, I'm going to shoot it over to Benny for some words.
Yeah, so we here at AfterBuzz TV want to thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV talk, and in order for us to grow even more, we need your help. So if you're on YouTube right now, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you're on iTunes, go ahead and give us a 5-star. Working at AfterBuzz means so much to us, and we just want to continue to learn and grow. So if you're watching or listening to us, go ahead and leave us a comment, and we will continue to give you guys amazing, good content.
Yeah.
Yes.
We love you guys. We are very, very excited to be back for The Walking Dead. We are very privileged to have to do this show. And I mean, it's season 10, and we've already seen that they're coming to bring it. So like I said, we are very excited to be here for you guys all season. And like I said, we do the show for you guys. We want to hear all of your comments. April, what's going on in the chat?
You know, we got a lot of people watching. I'm compiling a list of comments as we speak.
Okay.
Currently.
I will touch base with you later then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we see this satellite crashing through the atmosphere, very dramatic. And that's when Eugene calls over the radio. Now, I didn't realize that they were in 2 separate groups. I thought everybody was at Oceanside, that they just didn't. I thought Alexandria was just lost. Like they were like, oh, forget Alexandria, until Eugene called over. And then we see what's going on over at Alexandria. Essentially, Sadiq, Father Gabe, Eugene, and Rosita are playing house over there with the new baby. Am I the only one who's relieved that Rosita's not pregnant anymore and that she is getting back to her fighting self?
I didn't imagine them showing us her as like really, really pregnant, just because we've done it in the show. Yeah. And so I was like, I was curious to see how they were going to do it, but I'm happy that the baby's just there, because I think it actually brings a better element, and we'll get to see more between, you know, that little quadruple couple
it's
dynamic.
So weird.
I don't know what you would call it.
Am I the only one who's weirded out by that?
I love it.
It's
Dude,
interesting.
it's like an episode of Maury.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's so funny. She's living with 3 of the guys who have some type of romantic relationship with her. Well, except for Eugene just has a crush.
A major
He was like peeping while she was breastfeeding this episode. Yeah. I was like, what are you doing?
I love this guy.
But he's the one with the baby, and I'm like,
he was
you're
like
the
Mr.
one
Mom.
kind of with no relation here. Like
Right.
Sadiq's the dad, Rosita's dating Gabriel, but like you're the one measuring the baby and doing all of this stuff. Like, where do you come into this? But I guess he's just put himself in there, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean,
still have hope for him.
I don't know. I don't
get
know.
the girl.
I don't like Rosita with any of these guys.
She just
don't
needs to be
either, honestly.
a strong, independent woman.
Yes, I agree.
I wanted to see her with Eugene so bad. So bad.
I don't know that I could take it. Like, seeing them make out, I might just be like,
yeah, no. Abraham was the only man for her, and that's the only person I can see her with. I don't know why.
And then he left her for Sasha. Oh, R.I.P.
I know, but she needs another like strong man like that to come in. Not saying that Eugene has his strong points. Eugene has his strong moments in other.
He's the brains of the operation.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you.
He has a strong brain.
Yes.
Which does baby scheduling down.
Exactly, which doesn't surprise me why he's so invested in that part of the baby, like measuring the baby, got the sleep cycle down, got the feeding down. That's just Eugene. I mean, it's Eugene. It's what he would do. I want to talk about Lydia and Negan really quick because Lydia's learning how to read, which I thought was another really vital point to this because you can see that she's getting really discouraged with trying to learn how to read. I didn't even realize that she didn't know how to read because she was so young when the whole zombie apocalypse started.
Right. You know, Alpha wasn't teaching her.
Exactly. She's like, you don't need to read. It's never been addressed, but, you know, the kids who she's in the class with, I don't know how old they are, obviously, but they're significantly younger than her. And when you are young like that, you pick up certain things faster. That's why people start teaching, you know, kids different languages or like you grow up speaking different languages because you learn quicker, your brain forms faster. So what she feels like she should already know because they know, it's frustrating to her. But she also has to realize, like, okay, let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know she's been dealing with it for a while, and maybe I'm still harboring a little anger toward Lydia. But I'm like, get over it. Just read, girl.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So not only is she frustrated with not being able to read or having trouble reading, but then, you know, our group comes in to talk about, you know, this looming threat of the Whisperers maybe being back, this meteor crash, which hasn't happened yet, my bad. And then they pretty much kick Lydia out of the room. Now, this is when Negan comes into place, because apparently Negan's on community service detail.
Right.
He's like picking up trash. He's like doing vegetables. He's being watched. I love it too. At least he's out of the cell, you guys. It steps forward.
Yeah.
And this is when the two of them bond because, you know, once upon a time, he was the one that everybody was cutting their eye about.
They're kindred spirits.
Exactly. And now she's the person who everybody is cautious around and everybody doesn't really fully trust. I would think after a year and a half, that wouldn't be the case. But once again, it's just a show kind of giving us this threat of, we might have had her in our vicinity for a year and a half, but once the Whisperers come back, it just puts all this back into play of, hey, you were one of them once.
Right.
And you're technically the reason that...
Oh, yeah, that's
it. I mean, it's not her fault,
right.
But she's the justification behind it.
She's the reason why they're all living in fear and why they have been doing so for so long. Like I mean, they didn't directly address this in the episode, but she's the reason technically why Carol is out on a boat because Carol can't be around her. And it's just, I get it. I do feel bad for her in the sense because, you know, she said they accepted her. So at some point, you know, it's like accepting an ex-boyfriend back. You either get over it and move on, or you leave them. So they clearly weren't going to leave her. They fought for her.
And you gotta accept it.
I know it's not going to be easy, but like, come on, people. You got to be a little nicer. But I also get why they kicked her out because she's just too young. Like, let's be real. Maybe other people, like we have to look at Carl. He's probably younger than she was, but like Carl's different.
Yeah, I get it. And I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I 100% get it. They have to be cautious. They've gone through, the main group, they've gone through so much in their lives with people overtaking where they live and death, destruction. So they're not taking any chances when it comes to this girl. So I completely get it.
I want to talk about Sadiq really quick because not only is he playing house, but he's also dealing with some PTSD, which
Major
PTSD to the point where he can't even hear his own baby crying or
shouldn't be holding the baby. Maybe.
I like that storyline for Sadiq, but then they also introduced another doctor. His name is Dante.
Who is he?
Right, I was like, okay, new characters. I'm about introducing new characters. I really am, especially in season 10. I want to see what's going to happen. But do you guys think it's once again just foreshadowing that there's two doctors? Are they going to need two? Are they going to get rid of one?
They're always going to need two.
Of course.
We could use three.
Exactly. But it was such an odd character introduction, though.
Yes.
Just the whole dynamic, I was like, wait, are you his friend? And then the whole thing about like, oh, kiss me.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know if I should think this is funny or what.
Agreed.
It was definitely an odd introduction, but I also love the story for Sadiq because I think it's one that he, you know, I forgot until that happened. I was like, wait, what's happening to him? is he having visions? I mean, like, that's literally what I thought. I was like, oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that also. I'm not gonna lie.
It
I really thought
seemed
that.
like that. I was like, he's having a vision that, like, because all he saw was Alpha's head. But then I remembered, like, no, he was there.
Yeah.
He
When
lived a
everyone
life.
was
Yeah.
killed. Like,
Yeah.
they tied him to a tree so he could give the message to everybody.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Right. But I don't think or it doesn't seem like anyway that he's dealt with this in any way.
No, and don't forget it. Like
how
I
do
said,
you?
it's been a year and a half. So it's like they have 2 doctors, but they don't really have a psychologist.
No.
Yeah.
So-
I'm gonna need to get one.
Yeah, get one really quick, or talk to a tree. Start painting trees like Alicia did
Yes.
after The Walking Dead.
Right.
Do something to cope.
Get
I'm
a
just doing
hobby.
that
Meditate.
I think Negan needs people to talk to. He could go talk to
It's
Negan.
true.
Negan is pretty much like the psychologist
He is.
because he pretty much reads people very well. I'm just
Negan
saying.
would twist him around in some way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Negan is missing his calling, you guys.
Yes.
So we see once again the meteor crashing. Once again, this is just their way of tying all of the storylines together, and that's when Eugene calls Oceanside. So we see that call happening. Now they switch over to what's happening at the beach. And we see Kelly and Connie. Connie being one of my favorite characters.
that.
Love Connie.
What I didn't understand in this scene was that they're calling for Kelly. She can't really hear. And then we find out that she might be going deaf too. So is it a degenerative disease that they both
It
have?
might be.
Maybe.
We didn't really address it in the past that it was a potential issue for her too, unless I missed that.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I can't recall ever even talking about that. But like she says, and I believe her when she says her hearing is fine. But then she's like, there are other things like I don't know if someone's talking to me. It went, I hear lots of voices at one time.
Something's going on, yeah.
So whether it's her actual direct hearing going or not, like it's still something.
Yeah.
And I just really like how it seems like the roles are going to be reversed when it comes to the two, because before it was Kelly helping out Connie. Now it's going to be Connie trying to show Kelly the way of just how to live with this.
Yeah. I think that, Kelly has some idea of how to live with it because she has been pretty much not protecting, because we obviously know Connie can take care of herself, but essentially being the ears for Connie in this world. And if, Connie goes deaf, and she says it in this scene, she goes, how am I supposed to interpret for you? How am I supposed to protect you? And, she goes, we protect each other. That's
Which
what
I
we,
love.
I love
Yeah.
that too. I mean, they're just like I said, Connie's one of my favorite characters. Kelly still has yet to grow on me, but I think this storyline could do it.
I like them together a lot. I love that. What's going on with them?
Yeah, and even further than that, we see Daryl's been working on his sign language too, which I thought was a really nice moment.
I love them.
Right? I love
Ship
them,
them.
too.
I officially am on Daryl and Connie's team. What did we call them?
Daryl needs something.
Donnie?
So,
Donnie?
Carol? Oh no, we can't call
We
him
can't
Carol.
call her Carol. That would be
awful.
weird.
kidding.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of Carol, though, she comes back on a boat because this is how she's dealt with her emotional trauma from losing Henry.
A life at sea.
A life at sea, which doesn't surprise me. I actually liked this storyline for her, that she went out. They kind of give a little Easter egg about where Maggie might have been. She's been down south trying to maybe find Maggie. I liked that they included that a little bit. And then we see, Daryl and Carol reunited, which I thought was a really nice moment.
Ooh, loved the scene between the two of them. And Angela Kang said we're going to get, and this is not a spoiler alert, by the way, but she said we're going to get a lot of Daryl and Carol good scenes.
Yes.
I feel like we haven't gotten a scene like we did tonight in so long, which is, I was like, is this why I loved the episode so much? Because just them, the two of them on screen for 5 minutes, I was like, this is amazing. And the interaction, and obviously with the bracelets and him calling her best friend, I was like, even they're finally addressing it as a show. They're not just like teasing us. They had the flirtatious moment with Connie and Daryl on the dock, and how he's learning sign language for her. But then like they have this moment where she's like, oh, best friend.
Yeah.
Should we run away together?
Yeah.
I love their dynamic.
Right? And I love that they're best friends. And we all knew here, sorry guys who didn't know, but we knew that there was no really love story in there. We just never
Best friends
saw
forever.
it
Maybe
like
in
that.
the beginning, like way back, like season 1 maybe, but now there's no
It's just
chance.
like-
I just don't see it whatsoever.
Like brother sister
Yes.
almost.
Yeah, I agree with you. And they do talk about this whole running away together. And we already knew from the beginning of the episode that Carol is not staying for very long.
Right.
And there was this ongoing thing of Daryl trying to convince her to stay. And we have this moment with them where they're hunting deer, and a deer wanders into Whisper territory, which once again, still surprised that they're that close to Whisper territory, but here we are. And Daryl pretty much points out, he wants to respect the boundaries. He wants to respect these borders. And Carol does not give two F's about this. She's like, you know what? I don't care. That deer could have fed us. I'm surprised you let it get it. It's right there. Did you guys agree with Daryl or did you agree with Carol in this moment?
See, in this moment, that deer was it was right there. I was like, I see what she's saying, but I get they're like all on edge. No one wants to, that's what they established. You don't cross the borders.
Yeah.
But again, it's been 1.5 years. You just shot a deer that you can't eat now.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
They don't know at this point that Michonne and everybody in the woods have just found, like, this camp with a skinned man and things like that. So I agree. I was like, what's going to happen if you take this deer? Nothing.
Drag him
Either
over the
those
line.
walker, exactly. Like, get a long stick. I don't know if that counts. Pull him over.
I don't know.
Do a little lasso action. I don't know.
But Carol also, I think it's because, just like you said, she's not there. So the threat is very real for everybody else. Not that it's, well, now it is for her. But I think that's just not in her mind. She just sees, oh my gosh, how did we just give this up?
But do you think it's because she hasn't been there, or it's really because she subconsciously has this vendetta against these whisperers?
She has a vendetta.
And she does not care.
Yeah.
She's waiting to ignite something because she wants her revenge.
This is very personal for Carol.
Yeah.
Like,
and it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with both. I agree with everybody. I mean, we'll talk about it at the end of the episode because that moment was intense, but we'll talk about it. So then they see once again the satellite crashing, and now we have this new threat of, hey, the satellite crashed in the woods. Now there's this fire, and there's this another threat toward Oceanside because they're camping in the middle of the woods, and this fire could essentially reach them and destroy their entire camp. Right. So they have to work in order to put this fire out by using sand and water, which I thought was actually really smart because don't use all your water, use seawater and use sand. Right. Clearly you're by a beach. Like that was a very smart move on their part.
Or blood from Carol.
I loved that
How
part.
smart was that?
Insane. Carol came back and she was like, I still got it.
I got it.
So what I didn't realize was that, now that the satellite crashed, that they could actually use it for maybe technology reasons or anything like that. Of course, once Alexandria comes onto the scene, Eugene wants to examine the entire thing. And Michonne was just dead set on, we have to go. We're already in enemy territory. We need to leave because we've already...
Oh, so that made a loud boom.
Yes. And then the walkers that it attracted, I wasn't surprised by. Were you guys?
No, that was quite the commotion.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by whether or not it's a part of the giant herd, or like they talk about, they call it the nuclear weapon. I want to know if it was part of it or not, because that was obviously a very big herd that we saw.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
I don't think so either, because we didn't see any whisperers involved.
Because they're
in
like
that.
hoarding them still,
right?
As far as we know.
Yeah.
True. Was I the only one who thought when Carol slit the throat of that walker to put out the fire
that it'd be a
that it was
whisper?
a human? Because that was a lot of blood, and
I thought it was a human.
Weird about how these walkers have so much blood in them when...
Well, some do and some don't. Like,
Maybe
we've
how
seen them,
new
like,
it is?
cover themselves.
Yeah.
So maybe if it's a new one. But the way that it, like, just geysered out, I was like, that's a human.
That's what I thought, too.
But I guess not.
But I guess not.
I thought some of the walkers that were, when we first saw them all coming, I thought some of them were a whisper. Yeah,
Because we were in their territory.
Yeah.
Technically. So it's like, I was concerned at first.
Well, what I also liked about that is that Aaron and Michonne have a moment where they kind of point out, Aaron says, us stopping this fire helped them too, because they essentially live in the woods.
Yeah.
And so this could have been really dangerous for them as well. So
it was on their side.
Right.
Yeah.
And we really just essentially helped them.
We did.
Which I thought was
Saved
a good...
our butts
which
and helped them, yeah.
Exactly. I thought it was a good point. And then Michonne questions where Aaron, Daryl, and Carol are. And we have this moment with them on the edge of the cliff where, once again, Daryl is trying to get Carol to stay with him. And otherwise he'll punch holes in all the boats, which I thought was a really
Loved
good
that.
moment.
I did too.
And this is when we see Carol and Alpha have this kind of standoff moment where they're staring down each other.
I wouldn't want that to been anyone but Carol to see her for the first time. It was so good.
Yeah.
She was like, I got you. Just watch.
Yeah.
Just
You're back?
give me some time.
Yeah.
Just give me some time.
That's exactly what that was. Now, do you guys think that it was a little ballsy of Carol to just stand there on the rock face? Because at this point, Alpha and the Whisper Group didn't know that they had crossed into borderline territories. As soon as Alpha saw Carol, she knew that they had crossed into their land. Do you think that this
Daryl
is
and
what...
Carol in their land?
I think so, because they were by where the satellite crashed, and that was where...
I thought that was the edge.
They're still living
I think
at
that's
Oceanside,
the edge
though.
of the... I thought they were still on their turf, because he wouldn't even go in by the deer. I think he still had her.
There's like a certain mark because, Michonne and everybody, they're just essentially visiting Oceanside right now to help with the training. But people do
Right.
still live at Oceanside.
Yeah.
So they're...
The
There's
lines
just a
are,
line
it's,
that we
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
so
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, the boundaries. But I was under the impression they were like on the edge. It almost looked like the marking, the area where she like showed them originally where the border was. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? So I thought they were like right at the edge of theirs. And then
okay.
she like popped out on hers, and then they were like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
But who knows? Those boundaries are crazy. So
Yeah.
Well, we'll never get it
I'd be
unless
out
they
and I'd be
directly
passing
say.
it all
Yes.
the time. I'd need like flags.
Yes.
Like lines.
Yeah. I need a little, like,
I
what are
just
that?
stay
air
far
spray
away.
tape?
I just be in the
Caution
town
Caution tape, something.
all day.
I need very clear definitions of these borders, because
I know,
was
it
like
always
crossing
blows
up
my
and I was
mind when they're like, "No, that's a boundary." I'm like, "How do you know that?
Yeah.
That
Right.
tree? Like
Yeah,
what?
yeah. They must have. I mean, it's been a year and a half. Maybe they've established some kind of
Shock collars?"
Maybe-
shot collars, something like that.
what
I
I
don't know.
Electric fencing.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to see where this standoff between Carol and Alpha go, because we have been saying for seasons that we want to see more from Carol, and I think this is the season,
Oh,
you guys.
it
I think so
is.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
They're
definitely.
bringing it.
yeah,
We're gonna get a lot of female power on this season. Just the moments. Think of the moments tonight with Michonne where she just just her on the screen. She
Yeah.
absolutely carried it.
She did.
Yeah.
And they're also doing that on purpose just to devastate us even more. But
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any last thoughts on the episode before we get into our special segments?
It's a good one.
Yeah, it was a
so
great one,
good.
you guys. It was a great one. Thank you, everybody who's in the chat right now. We are going to move into our special segments. I want to talk about our favorite kill. So we had a lot this episode. I want to hear some of yours.
I would say the one where I just said it, the one where Carol
Yeah.
slashed the
That's
zombie, and it was awesome, and at the same time it was smart.
Yeah.
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 So
Multitasking.
I thought for sure when this happened, I was like, oh, everyone's going to have the same favorite kill as me. But then there were so many good ones
Yeah.
tonight. So I think we'll have different ones. But mine was the first one with the zombie coming out. And then Judith is the one that slashes
Yeah.
him in the face
That
with a
was
knife.
great, too.
I was like, you are Michonne.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, she had a Michonne knife.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah,
But-
I honestly
Michonne.
loved the entire opening scene with the ghost ships and the
Yes.
army.
Yeah.
Just like every kill of that was fantastic.
I like that. I also liked the slow motion scene with Daryl and the two knives. And he was
that
like,
was so
killing-
good.
That was really cool too,
That
because
was
we
really
we
good.
always see him with the crossbow, and this was a little different. So
Yes.
I like that. Let us know what your favorite kill of the episode was, you guys. We look forward to hearing those. I want to talk about our next special segment, which is a newer one, you guys. We're going to do MVP of the episode. So it has to be a unanimous decision on who we thought was the MVP of the episode. We can only have one, you guys. We can only have one.
Okay.
So who do you guys think we should vote for MVP of the episode?
I'd say Carol.
That's what I want to
I
say.
guess Carol.
Yeah.
Carol?
Yeah.
I mean, especially at the end, it's like we're leading up for her to be one heck of a character.
Okay.
Like,
to
this
me, it's
season.
either Carol or Michonne, but I have
Yeah.
to lean a little on
And then
Carol's
the
side
throat
tonight.
slitting and the fire. I
Yes.
mean, she killed it this episode.
did it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
After she just came back from a sea trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go with Carol, you guys. Carol's gonna be our MVP of the episode. Let us know yours. Thank you, Ryan, in the booth, for giving us that wonderful soundbite. And now we've got our top 3 of the episode, you guys. So it's pretty much top 3. We are picking villains of all series, of the entire series of The Walking Dead, and we're doing this only for the first episode, which is tonight. We're doing it for the mid-season finale, plus the actual finale of season 10. So, season 10, what are we doing for?
Okay,
top
so
three?
we're doing 3 of them, like he said, and our first one, we think our biggest villain would be Negan.
Yep.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Number
then,
one, Negan.
yes, we went with the governor for number. Oh no, we went with Shane for number 2,
Yes.
and the governor for number 3.
Hashtag never forget.
Yes.
Hashtag
so-
never
Hashtag
forget.
never forget.
I'm curious
I
though.
love it.
We're all curious to see who you guys think. So leave in the comments on YouTube and let us know
Yes.
if you agree or disagree. If you have any different villains, because we had a lot
there's-
that ran through our head, but you got to narrow them down. So.
Yeah.
There are so many, but like, how do you not choose
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
three?
Well, why did you guys choose Negan? Why did we choose Negan?
Because he's the greatest of all time so far.
Yeah.
He killed like one of the biggest characters like on the show.
Yeah.
You know that people still remember him.
Yeah.
It's
Epic in
also
the
his
comic books.
turnaround too. It's like he's still there, and he could still do more. We don't know what's gonna happen
Part
with
of my
him.
prediction.
Oh, okay. We'll
Ooh.
save it. We'll save it. Save it. Don't forget it, April. Why did you guys pick Shane?
Shane is just like he's an OG. And he was one of the first like real villains of the show. So.
Yeah. Also, he got his friend's wife pregnant while his friend was in the hospital. So I mean, not pregnant,
Traitor.
but well, maybe pregnant. We don't even know. We don't even know. But yeah, he was sleeping with his best friend's wife while he's in the hospital.
I thought he was dead.
So whatever,
He thought
still
he was
bad.
dead.
Still bad. Shane is definitely number 2, and number 3, the governor. I mean, he was keeping heads in tanks.
Yeah,
so.
he was.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, and he pretty much killed Andrea, which was Michonne's BFF.
He killed
I've
Herschel.
always loved Andrea, by the way. He killed Herschel.
Yeah.
He killed a lot of people.
Oh, Herschel.
Yep.
Miss Herschel.
Yeah, so there's a lot. But we gained Tara from the governor, which was nice, but then we lost Tara last season. So, yeah,
thanks,
everything
Governor.
comes full circle here on The Walking Dead, you guys.
Yes.
Let's get into some news and gossip, shall we?
Yes, cannot wait to talk about this. So, with the premiere of The Walking Dead, we also got a new look at the new series of we don't have a title yet, but of the new Walking Dead series.
Excited.
So, we're gonna take a look at it.
It's called Monument Day because we are all monuments to the past.
After the start. Love it.
My dad is off laying the groundwork to change the world. To someday, far in the future, get us back to where we were. It may take generations
It's like
to
The
regain
Purge
some
meets The
of
Walking Dead.
our
Yeah.
science will lead.
Yeah.
But my father has started the journey for us all.
So I guess things get better?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, it's still the same timeline, though.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So they just have it
You have to
better.
have seen enough to know what that means.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, that
that's
was
fine.
enough, guys. If you want to look it up,
That looks
go on
great.
YouTube. You
Yeah.
can look it up. But it looks really good, and it's definitely giving
Where
me
are they held up?
getting
My
me
goodness.
excited.
So-
yeah.
It's interesting,
It's-
like 10 years after, we're at least 6 years after, because
Right.
we know there was a 6. So,
Well-
like, oh, you're almost there. Just make it
Yeah.
through.
One of the actors who's on the show, he said that the timeline is the same timeline as the Walking Dead universe.
Okay.
So
Okay.
these guys are in like a completely different area,
Okay.
obviously.
That just
than
sucks.
They just got
Yeah.
it real
They are.
nice.
They
They're
just
still
have it
going,
nice.
they're going to school. They have backpacks.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so basically, these kids that you saw, they want to see this new world, and so they're leaving this community that they're in,
No,
and they're
don't do
seeing
that.
walkers for like the first time ever.
Yeah.
Never seen anything like this before, so I'm excited for
Oh,
it.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
But this next one that we have is pretty exciting. I'm just gonna talk about it while we're looking at the video because it's kind of hard to see. But this was at New York Comic Con. They're introducing the cast of The Walking Dead, and then they introduce Lauren Cohen
Yeah.
and announce that she's gonna
Yes.
be in season 11.
Yes.
So
That's what you come back now.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be exciting.
Was I the only one who was like, season 11? Why not season 10? Why not the second half of season 10?
Yeah.
I need her back now.
Well, we were speculating that on our preview episode when she was going to come back, if this. But I mean, at least we have. Oh, there it is.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't like her off on wherever she is writing letters.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, with
Yeah.
Gina
No.
or something.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have her back on season 11, and that just gives us something else to look forward to for next
Yeah,
season.
exactly.
I also
And
love
it
that she
just
was
started.
in a Negan outfit.
Yeah.
Right?
That was really cool. Yeah, yeah. Just she's like posing as one of the fans. That
So
was kind of
funny.
cool.
Love
So
it.
yeah, that's all for news
Yeah,
and gossip.
that's it.
Great.
Yes.
That was really great news and gossip. Thank you, Benny. Let's get into very, very quick predictions, you guys, because we are short on time.
Now, you're AfterBuzz TV.
April, I'm going to shoot it over to you really quickly for predictions, and if you can give us some shout outs as well.
Yes, we have the moment from that Negan and Gabriel were talking, and he's like, it's starting. And he's talking about how at some point, and this is why I thought the moment where Aaron asked Michonne, are we the bad guys?
Yeah.
I think it's foreshadowing of some point because Negan's like, it's starting. At some point, they start looking at you and they start thinking, wait, are you bad? Or is this person that's the farmer bad? So I think Negan, whether he'll turn out to be like an evil person or not, he's just biding his time. And until something happens, he's gonna. I just think he's planning a comeback.
Okay.
Yeah. Cannot see viewer names in chat right now, but y'all, there are a lot of y'all in there, so thank you so much for watching.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. I have a prediction that Lydia is going to be the one to take down her mother.
I love that.
I don't see it happening. Or, I mean, Carol would be a really nice way, but I think that's too predictable. I feel like Lydia doing it would give her closure on everything that because they're already bringing up her past so she can't read. And you said it yourself, Chris, in this episode. Alpha didn't teach her how to read.
Yeah,
So I just think
would
that
love
Lydia
that.
might be the one to take down her mother in the Alpha group.
Those are great predictions.
I think we're gonna see some big things from Rosita also. I think this season is gonna be like her time to shine.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Chris, anything?
Yeah, no, I agree with all of you guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, we're definitely going to lose Michonne, as we know, but
We know that. Yep.
I think they're going to kill her off.
Oh, here we go.
boy.
Eric
Yeah.
Erling, Kelsey Walsh, Joe and Vlogs, DG, everybody in chat.
There you
it
go.
popped up
Thank
right
you,
at the last
guys.
minute. Thank y'all for joining
Some
us.
technical difficulties, but thank you, April, for
Yes.
that. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our episode 1 review of season 10. We are back, you guys. We will be back next week. Let our fans know where they can find you guys.
Hey guys, you can find me all over social media at Krista Flungy.
Y'all can find me everywhere at April Wissenhant.
And you guys can find me on all social media at Benny J. Adams.
Look me up, guys. I'm at Timothy. I am Timothy Mike. If I can remember my own screen handle. We'll see you guys next week, same time on Mondays at 8.
Bye, guys. Later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.